Welcome to Yin Yoga, Divine Spine. We're going to start in a butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees splay out in opposite directions. Option to sit up on a block or a thickly folded blanket if it feels nice. On an inhale, go ahead and lengthen up through the spine, sitting up nice and tall, and bowing forward on the exhale to your own degree. Maybe placing a block under the forehead for support here. Using this time for yourself, for your body, and for your mind. Seeing how deep you can go within the pose. Finding stillness and relaxing into it. Yin Yoga is all about going deep within the body, and deep within the mind. We'll be holding each pose anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes, giving the body the time it needs to open up and release, while allowing the mind to relax and look within. So right now, making sure there are no distractions taking you away from the practice. The TV isn't on. Your phone is somewhere out of sight and out of mind. And we'll start by connecting to the breath. Breathing in and out of the nostrils, in and out of the nose. Just slowing down and relaxing into it. There's nowhere you need to be, but right here. Here within the present moment. And if thoughts arise, simply notice them and come back to the breath, using your breath as an anchor to keep you within the mat space. Just a couple more breaths here. Slowly start to roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Extend your left leg out in front of you, right foot pressing against the inner thigh, setting up for half butterfly. Reach the arms up towards the sky on an inhale, and then folding over and down to your own degree. Hands might come to the knee, the shin, the ankle, or maybe the hands are interlaced around the bottom side of the foot. There are 3 primary steps we follow during a yin class. The first step is to find your edge, going as deep into the stretch as you possibly can, without overdoing it. Putting that good stress onto the body. And knowing the difference between good and bad pain. You'll find that edge and just tiptoe along it. The second step is to find stillness. If you need to make a few adjustments, that's fine, but we really want to avoid being fidgety here. Working on stilling the body and stilling the mind. And the third step is to hold it. Allowing the body to open up, respond, and repair. There's no need to worry about the time. I'll be keeping track of the clock. Just a couple more breaths here. Now go ahead and come all the way up. Take your right hand and place it on the mat behind you, turning your right fingertips away from you. Lean into the right hand, and then on an inhale, lift your hips up. Take the left arm and reach it all the way up and back, so you come into a backward bend. And then exhale, lower everything back down to the mat. And we'll repeat that a few more times. So on an inhale, hips lift, back bend variation. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lowering it down. 2 more times. Inhale, navel to the sky. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come on up, big stretch. And exhale, slowly come on down. Sitting up nice and straight, bring the left foot to the inner right thigh. Right leg extends out in front of you. Setting up for half butterfly on the other side. On an inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, sitting up nice and tall, and folding forward to your own degree. There are so many benefits to a yin practice. There's so much scientific goodness going on throughout the body during these classes. As we hold these poses, the fascia under the skin, that whole web of connective tissues that run throughout the entire body, starts to open. And once it opens, it starts to spread, releasing hyaluronic acid throughout the entire body. This process has been proven to promote healthier, more supple skin. The hyaluronic acid acts as a moisturizer for the bones and the joints, which relieves joint pain and preserves bone strength. Holding deep stretches for a long period of time promotes circulation, allowing old, used cells to be replaced with fresh, oxygenated cells. It also decreases the production of stress hormones, allowing you to live a happier, stress-free existence. Yin yoga has been proven to improve the quality of your sleep, taking you from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, giving you a cool, calm, and collective energy for the rest of the day. Go ahead and walk the hands back up. Take your left hand and place it on the mat behind you, turning the left fingertips away from you. Lean into the left hand, and on an inhale, hips lift. Right arm reaches all the way up and back. And exhale, everything lowers back down to the mat. Inhale, hips lift, coming into that back bend. And exhale, lower. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, navel to the sky. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale, come on up, big stretch. And exhale, slowly lowering all the way back down to the mat. Extend both legs out in front of you, setting up for caterpillar pose, forward fold. On an inhale, arms reach over the head, nice flat back. And exhale, bow forward. Slowing down the breath. Finding your edge. Finding the stillness. And allowing time to do its thing. We store a lot of emotions deep within our bodies. So by holding these stretches for long periods of time, by working deep into the connective tissues, we allow these emotions to break free and release. It's completely normal for sensitive thoughts, feelings, and memories to surface. When we find our edge and sit with it for an extended amount of time, we're teaching ourselves to be gentle, to be patient, and to be non-reactive. The negative emotions are then released, creating space within the body for positivity, compassion, and self-love. Just a couple more breaths here. And slowly release, crawling the hands back up. From here, make your way into a tabletop position. Shoulders stacked above the wrists, knees under the hips. Spread wide through the fingertips. And then cat and cow. Inhale as you drop the belly and lift the chin, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, curl the spine, looking up at your navel. Continue moving with your breath, slowing down, maybe closing down the eyes, and just feeling into the movement. came across a quote by Kylie Francis the other day, and it really had me thinking. It said, "You are constantly rewriting your future based on how you spend your time now. The present moment is your portal to the future." So right now, within this present moment, you, my friends, are working towards a happier and healthier life. You're releasing fascia, slowing down the mind, opening up the body, reducing stress, and reversing the aging process. Go ahead and come back to a neutral spine, neutral tabletop pose. And then from here, bring your right shoulder into your right hip as you inhale, and then back through center on the exhale. Take the left shoulder in towards the left hip, inhale, and then back to the middle on the exhale. Continue moving with your breath, just moving side to side, stretching the spine for a nice moving meditation. Coming back to a neutral spine. Bring the big toes into touch, spread the knees wide, and then child's pose. Hips come towards the heels, forehead rests gently on the mat. Arms can reach out in front of you, or it might feel nice to bring them back behind you, bending through the elbows. Coming into a soft, comfortable, relaxed position. And I'd like to share with you a story about 6 blind men and an elephant. There were once 6 blind men who stood by the roadside every day and begged from the people who passed. They had often heard of elephants, but they had never seen one, for, being blind, how could they? It so happened one morning that an elephant was driven down the road where they stood. When they were told that the great beast was before them, they asked the driver to let him stop so that they might see him. Of course they could not see him with their eyes, but they thought that by touching him, they could learn just what kind of animal he was. The first blind man happened to put his hand on the elephant's side. "Well, well," he said, "now I know all about this beast. He is exactly like a wall." The second blind man felt only of the elephant's tusk. "My brother," he said, "you are mistaken. He is not at all like a wall. He is round and smooth and sharp. He is more like a spear than anything else." The third happened to take hold of the elephant's trunk. "Both of you are wrong," he said. "Anybody who knows anything can see that this elephant is like a snake." The fourth reached out his arms and grasped one of the elephant's legs. "Oh, how blind you are," he said. "It is very plain to me that he is round and tall like a tree." The fifth was a very tall man, and he chanced to take hold of the elephant's ear. "The blindest man ought to know that this beast is not like any of the things that you name," he said. "He is exactly like a huge fan." The sixth was very blind indeed, and it was some time before he could find the elephant at all. At last he seized the animal's tail. "Oh, foolish fellows," he cried, "you surely have lost your senses. This elephant is not like a wall, or a spear, or a snake, or a tree. Neither is he like a fan. But any man with a particle of sense can see that he is exactly like a rope." Then the elephant moved on, and the 6 blind men sat by the roadside all day and quarreled about him. Each believed that he knew just how the animal looked, and each called the others hard names because they did not agree with him. People who have eyes sometimes act just as foolishly. I heard that story for the first time on a sailboat in Croatia, and it had a really big impact on me. It made me realize that as humans, We have a tendency to allow our limited, subjective experiences to define our beliefs as the absolute truth. We then use these narrow-minded truths as an excuse to ignore and oftentimes judge the truths of others. For we all have a small piece of the puzzle, but it takes communication, respect, and an open mind to work together so that we can all see the bigger picture. From here, come on up to tabletop. Slide the knees back and go ahead and lower all the way down onto the ground, onto your belly. And from here, we'll come into Sphinx pose. Forearms are parallel to each other. Slide the elbows underneath the shoulders. The middle fingers point directly in front of you. Gentle press of the lower belly down into the ground. Option to rest the forehead on top of a block for support here. Another option would be to bring the hands to prayer, balancing on the elbows and resting that third eye space onto the thumbs. The goal is to get comfortable. So just doing whatever feels right for you and for your body at this time. Knowing that there's no right or wrong way to do it. I talked a little bit earlier about good stress. And by good stress, I mean eustress or positive stress, the kind of stress that is beneficial. Believe it or not, there is stress that can be energizing and motivating, a kind of stress that helps us to improve performance in whatever it is that we're doing. Examples of eustress could be traveling, getting married, moving house, a challenging exercise, taking on a project at work, changing jobs, or taking a chance on yourself. And although eustress helps us to live more interesting, meaningful, and engaging lives, a lot of us have been taught to label stress, all stress, as a bad thing. So we mistake this good stress as regular stress and label it as bad. We give up on new opportunities, miss out on fun activities, avoid exciting changes, and stay within our comfort zones simply because we've learned to fear and avoid stress and change. And eustress can be very overwhelming. But without good stress, without change, life can start to feel stagnant and boring. We start to feel stuck and uninspired. So next time you start to feel stress, I challenge you to sit with the feeling for a while. Ask yourself, is this eustress or bad stress? Will this benefit my personal growth and development? And if the answer is yes, this is beneficial, and I'm rejecting it to avoid change, try combating it with affirmations. A simple positive statement that declares a specific goal. An example could be, I am experiencing eustress. This is a learning opportunity, and I am thankful for this challenge. Working with affirmations has changed my life, and I hope you can start to use them and benefit from them as well. Now, staying where you are, or option to come into seal pose, taking the hands out a little wider, turning the fingertips outward, and pressing down into the hands, starting to work the arms towards straight. And for some people, this pose is too much. So if it's too much, just stay in Sphinx pose. We spend the majority of our days hunched over. We're hunched over when we're driving, when we're working at a computer, when we're eating a meal, when we're looking at our phones. And when we hold this posture for an extended amount of time, the connective tissues around the spine start to seize up and tighten, which is why backward bending poses that counteract the hunch like this one are incredibly important and beneficial for the spine. Working into that connective tissue here and allowing it the time to open and release. Couple more breaths here. And slowly come out of it, bending through the elbows, lowering your chest, right ear resting on the mat. Arms down by your side, palms face up. And just breathing here. Slowly lift through the chest, rotating your head so that the left ear rests gently on the mat. Nice and slow, coming back through neutral and pushing back. Hips to heels, transitional child's pose. Feeling into the breath and just relaxing. Coming back through a tabletop position, crawl the knees forward, cross the feet behind you, coming to lie down on your back. Extend your arms overhead and grab onto the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale for length and start to curl the left shoulder towards the left hip. And then the right ankle can cross over the left as you start moving the legs over to the left. Coming into a nice banana stretch. Stretching through the whole right side of the body. Finding a position that feels right for you. Relaxing into it. And holding here. Just a couple more breaths here. And slowly coming back through center. Hug the knees into the chest. And feel free to rock from side to side, massaging into that lower back. And just moving around a bit. And slowly extend the legs back out in front of you. On an inhale, circle the arms up above you. Right hand grabs onto the left wrist. We'll inhale for length and slowly curling the right shoulder towards the right hip. Left leg can cross over the right if it feels nice. Moving the legs over to the right. Coming into that banana shape. Just breathing here and feeling the stretch throughout the entire left side body. Our bodies are designed to move in so many ways that we normally don't allow them to. So by introducing a consistent yoga routine into your day, allows your body to open up and stretch in all the ways it was meant to. Just a couple more breaths here. And slowly releasing, coming back through center. Hug the knees into the chest, maybe rocking from side to side. And extend the arms out and slowly drop the knees over to the left. The gaze can be over the right or up towards the ceiling, whatever's comfortable. Releasing any tension. Releasing any thoughts. And just focusing on relaxing and on the breath. And slowly releasing, coming back through center. Squeeze those knees into the chest. Extend the arms and drop the knees over to the right. Gaze can be over to the left or maybe up towards the sky. Whatever's comfortable. Just a couple more breaths here. And releasing, coming back through center. Squeeze the knees into the chest, slowly curling your forehead into the knees, coming into a little ball. Maybe giving those knees a little smooch, showing yourself some gratitude. And slowly releasing all the way down onto your back for your final resting pose, Shavasana. Legs extend out in front of you. Arms rest, palms face up next to the body. Closing down the eyes here. Being aware of every inhale and melting into the ground beneath you with every exhale. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Letting the movement of the breath become your only focus. Allowing it to sweep throughout the entire body. And allowing your body to be calm and your mind to be quiet. Feel free to stay here for as long as you'd like, for as long as would serve you best today. Maybe pausing down the video. But if you're ready and willing, just slowly bringing some awareness back into the body. I'd like to thank you for flowing with me today, for sharing your energy with me, and for giving this present to yourself. Yin Yoga isn't about effort. It's just about creating the time and allowing ourselves, giving ourselves the permission to practice. The love and light in me recognizes that same love and light in you. From here, we'll say, Namaste.